From the previous class, we said that English generally does not allow all of the vowel sound to end its word, apart from letter E. And we said that when letter E ends a word, it changes the short vowel sound to the long vowel sound. And we said that we are going to be looking at how letter E changes letter A to A. Is that clear? So we've looked at letter A to A. So today we are proceeding to letter E to I sound. We said that these are A, E, or U, and these are A, E, I, O, U. That is the difference between the long vowel and the short vowel sound. Is that understood? So we said that when letter E ends an English word, what it does to all these other vowels is that it changes their short vowel to the long vowel sound. And we have looked at letter A. So today we are proceeding to letter E to I sound. Is that clear? So what we are saying is that when letter E comes after letter I and there is a consonant in between them, this letter E is going to change to letter I. Is that clear? There must be a consonant in between them. Is that clear? Is that understood? So let me illustrate also. We all know that by now, this is fi, and if I add n to it, it becomes fin. Is that clear? This is fin. But if letter E is being added to the last one, the letter E will remain silent, but changing this E to I sound. This is fi. You are hearing E there, fin. But let me add letter I to it now. What will happen is that this letter will be changed to I sound. Letter E will remain silent and utter this letter E to I sound. Now, if you want to pronounce this, it's not going to be fin, okay? And it's not going to be fini or fine. No, it's not going to be fine. Fine. Also, you can have this B-I-T is bit. B-I-T, bit. If letter E is also added to it, this letter E will also change this E sound to I sound. This is bit and this is going to be bite. But notice that this letter E is not making any sound anymore. It remains silent. When letter E comes at the end of English word, the letter E remains silent and utter the vowel sound that come before the last consonant to the long vowel sound, which is I. Is that understood? We also have something like this. L-I is L-I-T is lit. L-I-T, lit. If I add the same E to it, it changes this to I sound. So we have this to be light. This is what we are saying. So by the time you are saying E at the end of a word, know that that E is going to remain silent. But the vowels that come before the last consonant is going to be changed from the short vowel sound to the long vowel sound. Is that understood? That is what we are illustrating here. So as a beginner, when you know these tips concerning spelling or reading, it becomes very easy for you to actually learn how to spell and read. Is that clear? So this is what we'll be looking at. Letter E changes this letter E to I sound. Is that clear? This letter E changes this letter I to its sound, which is I. But in our vowel, we say that this letter is E, this is E, this is A, this is O, and this is U. So when this letter ends an English word, what it does to all of these vowel sound is changes them from the short vowel sound to the long vowel sound. That is basically what we are talking about here. Is that understood? I hope you understood what I'm saying. Okay, so we've looked at the R sound. We are looking at the I sound today. Is that taken? So let's continue and see what we are talking about, so that by the time you see some words changes sound, you should know that something is happening. Not that you are saying this, we are being told that this is A, E, or U. This is the basis. As time goes on, or as we proceed, we begin to have some changes that are applied to this. Is that clear? English is not static. There's changes in it. So we said that number one, like we said, fi is fi. If I add ne, now it becomes what? Fine. Fine. This letter e is now I and n is n. Why this letter e remains silent? Okay? Whenever you are seeing I in today's word or e, know that it's going to take I sound. Is that understood? Number two, we have si, si, but if I add d, e, this e will change this one to I sound. It will now be seed. This letter is silent. It is silent, okay? It is there, but it is not making any sound. This letter is silent, okay? It is there, but it's not making any sound. So by the time you hear I sound in a word, when you are being told to spell a word, you should know that there is a letter E at the end, but it is not saying any sound, okay? Number three, we have T-I, which is T. If I add M-E, becomes time. Time. From our vowels and consonants, T-I is T. But it is this letter now that is affecting that E sound to the I sound. I want you to pay attention to that. It is this letter E that is affecting this letter I to its original sound. That is the alphabetic sound. Okay? Then the next one we have B-I is B. But if I add T-E, becomes what? Bite. Bite. Number five, F-W-I-F. We plus F becomes wife. Wife. Is that clear? Wife. 6. N-I is ni, but if I add N-E to it, becomes 9. 9. Is that clear? 9. W-I is we. If I add D-E now, this E, we change this to I sound, it becomes what? Wide. Wide. D-I is D. If I add N-E, becomes dine. Dine. M-I is me. If I add N-E, is mine. Mine. This letter E is silent. Next one, we have P-I is P. If I add P-E, becomes what? Pipe. Pipe. P-I is P. If I add N-E, becomes pine. Pine. D-I is D. If I add V-E, is dive. Dive. Is that understood? Dive. So as you can see, it is this letter E that is changing this letter E to I sound. Is that clear? So if you are joining us for the first time, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification button so that you get notified whenever I drop the next video. Is that clear? So this is what we are talking about. It is as simple as this. This is fine, side, time, bite, wife, 9, wide, dine, pipe, pine, and dive. It is as simple as that. This is how you ought to start reading and writing. When you know the rule guiding some changes in words, it becomes very easy for you to actually understand or know the changes that is actually happening in somewhere. We started from the simplest, as you can see. We started from the simplest. So let's proceed to having some 5 to 6 letter or 7 letter as the case may be. Next, we have PA is pa, RA is ra. Then for RDIS is dies, paradise. So if we bring it together, it becomes what? Paradise. Paradise. Next, we have RE is re, a lies, re, a lies. If you bring it together, we have realize, realize. Next, we have PRI is pre, PRI, pre. But if you add DE, is this E will change this to eyes and it will now be what? Pride. Pride. Is that clear? Next, we have economize. Economize. If you bring it together, we have economize. Economize. Is that understood? Economize. Next, we have PO is po. Then we have lights. Polite. If you bring it together, we have what? Polite. Polite. Next, we have SMI is me. But if you add LE, becomes what? Smile. Smile. Is that clear? Smile. Next, we have RE is re. This is cog. If I add G is cog, then we have nice. If we bring it together, we have recognize. 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 Is that clear? Recognize. Next, we have AD, advice. Advice. If we bring it together, we have what? Advice. 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 Next, we have crocodile. If we bring it together, we have crocodile. Crocodile. CICV, then lies. CV, then lies. Civilize. Civilize. Next, we have SUR. So, then we have prize. If we bring it together, we have surprise. Surprise. Next, we have ME, more, rise. If we bring it together, we have memorize. Memorize. Next, we have BE, be. Then we have side. Beside. Then we have beside. Beside. So as you can see, letter E is the one ushering this letter to say its sound, which is I. Is that clear? So this is what? Paradise. So we have this to be what? Paradise. Realize, pride, economize, polite, smile, recognize, advice, crocodile, civilize, surprise, memorize, and beside. Is that clear? And beside. So this is how simple it is when you actually understand the principle guiding some changes of letter in learning how to read and write. So get yourself familiar with this and know why letter this is saying its sound, because letter E is the one changing that letter I to say its sound. Is that clear? So as a beginner, I've always advised you to have your notes available. Don't just watch without you practicing. In as much as you have learned this, it is also advisable for you to take your pen and paper. I've told you from the onset that you can't be following my class and you will not have your paper and note ready. You should have a comprehensive note where you will be jotting down, or after watching you write down. It is not just watch, you have to practice what you are learning. That is the only way you can actually learn how to read and write. So it is important for you to have your note available. Have your comprehensive note, because this is a class. We are not just giving out knowledge for just giving out. We are making sure that you are familiar and you know this thing properly. And that is why we are taking it step by step. We are not doing it disjointedly. So what we are doing is a gradual process that will actually enable you to master reading and writing. If you follow these classes from the beginning, you understand that I'm not just giving out this idea. I'm following it step by step, stage by stage, so that you get it right. And the reason we are not rushing everything at once is because we are adults. We know that our brain is a bit occupied with a lot of things, and that is why we are taking it gradually, so that you understand what we are saying at a time. Is that clear? So take your time to practice this and have your notes available. Okay? So if you are yet to subscribe, do so, so that you will not miss out on these tips that these are tips that will not be revealed in some places. So but we are giving it in order for you to get yourself familiar or learn how to read and write in no time, when you are familiar with the principle guiding reading and writing. Is that clear? So we have come to the end of today's class. So I'll see you in my next class. Have a wonderful day.